I want to play a clip from Donald Trump at the weekend. This is talking to Fox and Friends. We talks about the prospect of maybe going to jail.
The judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
It could.
How do you face what that could look
I'm okay with it. I saw one of my lawyers the other day on television saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. You just, the way it is. I don't know that the public would stand it, I'm not sure the public would stand for it. With a,
You're saying if they tried house arrest or...
I think it would be tough for the public to take. At a certain point, there's a breaking point.
Now, Mark, the question I was going to ask you is that a lot of people...
Trump said that he will be all right if he went to prison. Let me tell you something, Trump. Bro, you ain't got to be... Don't play coy, man. You ain't got to... I'm going to be all right if I go to court. If I go to jail, if I go to prison. No, you're not. Nobody is. Well, some people are. Some people prefer it. They want to be there with their friends and they don't feel comfortable out here in the real world with rules and all this other stuff. They feel much better in there with the other guys that they're used to. But Trump, come on, bro. I know you don't believe that you're going to get any jail time, and I hope you don't get any jail time. As a matter of fact, I hope that you're able to run for president, that you actually win, and that you can bring that same heat to the Bidens that they're bringing to you, that you bring that same heat to any of your political opponents, the same way that they're bringing to you. They've started something. They've set a precedent, all right? They've let people know already that it's okay if we go after our political opponents. And just because they try to say it's not federal, it's state, that does not say that Biden has nothing to do with it. Like, do they think we're dumb? Well, they do think we're dumb. They think we're foolish as hell.
I think the way Trump has been trashing the judge, the court, the process and everything night after night when he comes out to TV cameras, that under normal circumstances, you could trash talk your way into a prison sentence. Is that remotely possible here?
Well, let me give you the legal analysis and then I'll give you the political. There is no instance I can think of where you're convicted of 34 felonies in state court in America, in any jurisdiction, while you are found in contempt 9 times and a judge threatening to put you in jail, where when you're convicted, the judge doesn't remand you, meaning put you in jail right there pending sentencing. Obviously, that was not going to happen here. Obviously, at least to me politically, this judge is not going to put him in jail on July 11th. I don't even think he's going to give him house arrest. My friend Alan Dershowitz suggested something that I had not thought of. I have been speculating that the judge will give him 30, 60, or 90 days in jail, but stay it pending the appeal. Alan thinks that he will impose a state prison sentence of, say, 2 years and just hang it over his head. And that's somewhat diabolical, because if you've got that state prison sentence over his head and he does not win the election in November, there's all kinds of mischief that could happen after that. So I don't think, if I'm a betting man, I don't think he's going to go into jail or into custody on July 11th. If he was somebody other than Trump, he would be in custody right now.
I mean, Kevin,
yes, that's a really important point, and everyone needs to remember that.
Yeah, it is an important point. Kevin, just again, I'm across the pond at the moment, but I love America, and this is just this whole idea that we're even discussing the possibility of incarcerating an American president. I made the point the other day that if it was for running an illegal drone program that killed thousands of innocent people, or it was wholesale corruption on a very serious scale, the heart of government, something of that magnitude, then okay, I'd understand taking action against an American president. But the idea that Trump is going through all this and may end up with a suspended sentence or a hung sentence hanging over him, whatever it may be, as Mark just articulated, the idea that an American president, left or right, is facing this potentially happening in 6 weeks' time, in election year, I mean, it sends a shudder down my spine, if I'm honest, because I don't know what it makes America as a country.
Well, it has never happened before in a G7 country, and happened once, I believe, in a G20 country, but I think was acquitted. This isn't really about Trump anymore from the perspective you're talking about. It's about the American brand. It's about the executive. It's about the White House. It's about the American economy. It's about people's perception about investing in it. There's a pretty big discomfort, and I know this from both Democrats and Republicans. There's many outcomes of this sentencing, but I don't think anybody contemplates that he would be jailed. That would not go over well, I think, at all. From just a, I don't think that would be. This judge has a huge responsibility on his shoulders because it hasn't been tested by the appellate court. So it would be wise, perhaps, to be very, very lenient, and I would suggest probation maybe or something less so that he can go on with the political process of running, his Republican conference, decide if he's going to be and who his vice president is going to be, and setting up for the election just months away at that point. And as many have said on both sides of the party, let the people decide this situation on November 5th.
Right.
If they make Trump president again, then we're talking about the Oval Office, and we want to be careful not to get in his way as he governs the land. I would have thought bringing the porn star case after the election would have been better. It was really unusual to listen, and I was in London, where you are, talking to sovereign wealth and institutional investors. As you know, I'm trying to buy TikTok, so I'm trying to line up a syndicate. And Stormy Daniels' testimony.
My man just casually says, I'm trying to buy TikTok. This dude just casually walks over the fact that he wants to buy TikTok. Bruh. We have been teaching people how to grow online. It's been absolutely amazing. We have 3 people who have been able to reach monetization in less than 30 days. Growing YouTube channels, some from 0 people. We have one guy who had 2 subscribers before he started working with me. He started helping him. His views went up 4.8 million%. We're super excited. If anybody ever want to grow on YouTube, you reach out to me with the word coach. There are some people in this world that are extremely wealthy, but I did want to mention this. Trump is touching the hearts of the regular average voter. That's what he's doing. And when he joined TikTok on yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday, this brother got 3 million subscribers immediately. Somebody showed Joe Biden's TikTok, and this dude don't even have 1 million subscribers yet. He got 4 million likes, but he ain't even got 1 million subscribers. They don't care about Joe Biden. Trump is...
Testimony was embarrassing, talking about condoms and penis size, and what does that have to do with state finance or federal finance law? It has nothing. It was really trashy and not at the level you would want to brand a G7 or G20 country. And I think most people are embarrassed about it, to be honest.
I agree with you. And talking of TikTok, Trump joined it, Francesca, at the weekend. He got 3 million followers immediately.
Immediately. And they used to be all over TikTok. They used to love some TikTok. And I'm actually surprised that Trump joined TikTok. I didn't think that he liked to join anything that was China. You know what I mean? But hey, look, if you want to break it down to me and give me some knowledge on this right here, I'm here to receive it, bro. No diddy.
Also, this happened at the UFC fight. Dana White let him out. And this is just after he'd been convicted of 34 counts of this crime. Take a look at what the crowd reaction was.
Pretty cool for Sean Strickland to have a moment there with Donald Trump after a win.
Wow, bruh. Wow.
President Trump, you're the man, bro. It is a damn travesty what they're doing to
you. Wow. Get out of here. This right here pisses the left off, man. They don't like to see this at all, bro. They like, why is our plan not working? We need to take them up out of here. I'm just hoping that they don't try to do anything like unalive him, because he is just far too popular. He's far too powerful, and they think that he have bad intentions when he actually does not. He don't want there to be any wars. He don't want there to be any domestic nor international wars. He don't want there to be anybody taking advantage of our civil liberties or our freedoms. He want people to be able to earn them. He want people to enter the country correctly. He wants the best and the brightest from every single country because he's thinking country first. How come everybody else can't think that way? That just don't make sense to me, bro.
I'll be donating to you, my man. Let's get it done.
I mean, that followed the entrance. Sorry, Mark?
By the way, Piers, if I have spent the last 2 days having people talk to me at a conference I'm at, telling me that one of the phenomenons on TikTok, as Kevin invoked it, is people saying, I'm voting for the felon, I'm voting for the felon.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you want a poll? I'll give you a poll. Take a look at what's happening there at the UFC fight and take a look at what's happening on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, we're watching the end. This is when he came in. I mean, the place went completely nuts. And the trouble is, Francesca, I spend a lot of time in New York and LA. I have a place in LA and spend a lot of time working in New York. But I also do a lot of crime documentaries, ironically, which take me down to rural Florida, rural Texas, Alabama, places like that. And let me tell you, none of them agree with you. They all agree with that crowd at the UFC. And if I was a Democrat, I'd be quite unnerved that you've thrown the kitchen sink at this guy. And this is how a lot of the public are reacting.
And she can try to hide her emotions with a smile all she wants, but he's telling the truth. People the left keep on talking about he wants to ruin democracy and it's all about democracy. And they believe that when the people speak, that's all there is to it. Well, the people are speaking, and it's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. That's what it is. But let's talk about democracy, the population type thing. This dude is killing it everywhere he go. He is potentially going to turn a lot of blue states red, potentially, especially if they continue to do what they're doing to him, because people want to know the truth. And where there's smoke, there's fire. And people they no longer want to be led like some blind sheep. They're being awakened. They want to know. And if you haven't looked at YouTube lately, there's a whole bunch of people now who support Trump that don't look like what they say Trump supporters are supposed to look like. All right. And these people, this young lady included, is shaking in her tube sock. She's not peeing on herself like Joy Behar in Costco. And I'm not making that up. Joy Behar said when she heard about the conviction, she peed on herself a little bit in Costco. That's nasty. Like around everybody's food, and they got some nice flowers and everything. But everybody going there with their big old carts trying to make sure that they take care of their families, and you just in there walking around smelling like pee because you're excited that Trump then got convicted of something or could potentially be convicted of something. Come on now.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense that he'd be cheered at UFC. I mean, you know, it's a sport full of actors, and we have this guy who's been pretending to be a serious politician for years now.
It's a sport full of actors, though. Aren't y'all the ones that keep on calling on everybody from Hollywood that will say something demonstrative or negative about Trump? You're talking about it's a sport full of actors like him. He's an actor. That's what Robert De Niro said, right? Robert De Niro said he's an actor. Well, last I've checked, all the actors walked away from him when he decided to run for president as a Republican candidate. But before then, everybody was riding his meat. They was meat riding, hanging off of every single string from his sack. Okay.
Look, they're not actors in that interview that he gave to Fox News.
You're not besmirching UFC. Hang on. Fact check. You'll think you're WWE, the actors. The UFC, they're real fighters.
Boom. Boom. Look at her face. Look at her face. He said that you're talking about actors. That's WWE. That's wrestling. This is UFC. These are real actors. Look at her face. That is gold right there. She is stuck, bruh. She is like a deer stuck in headlights. She has absolutely no clue about the real world and how she is on this panel. I don't know. She's mixing UFC up with WWE. She has no idea what she's talking about, bro. Look at her face, man. Now I feel bad for her, bro. I feel bad for her now because Pierce didn't have to do her dirty like that. He got her good with that one. That is crazy.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I don't have. Cool. Good. I'm glad. Look.
No, you're not glad. Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, you're right. You know what? Let me think of something clever while I stutter. You're right. Dang it, I'm trying to think of something clever. Not fast enough. Come on, think of something clever, Francesca. You can do it. Come on, clever Francesca. Look at your phone again. Google or ask the person that you was talking to for an answer for that one right there, because you just got destroyed, Slim. You did that right there. You did not see it coming, and you deserved every penny of that one. Every penny.
Look,
there's a big difference. One is acting, one is hardcore elite fighting. They're very different things.
One is real. The realest you can get. It's the realest you can get. And she's talking about is daggone acting. Come on, sis.
I don't have video feed, but I bet it's dope, and I stand corrected, Piers. But I will say this. With the interview that he gave on Fox and Friends, I do think it matters. Because what he said was the American people aren't going to stand for this. And in some ways, he's saying, you know, he's warning Judge Merchan, and I sort of agreed that I don't think Judge Merchan, even though all y'all think that it's some sort of political hit job, they're not going to put him in jail. Sadly for me, I hope they give him some sort of like community service soup kitchen situation. I'd love to see that, whatever is on his head, in a hairnet. That'd be incredible. Or just like make him work one day in his life, just a single day, maybe on minimum wage.
All right, so young lady, what she's trying to do right now, and it's not cute, it's actually making you look bad. What she's trying to do is be funny. What she's trying to do is change the conversation, change the topic. She's in a room full of men that's like, whoa, Slim. I mean, he got you good, and you're not doing a good job coming back. You know, you're trying to make him work one day in his life. Young lady, let me tell you something. For anybody who think rich and wealthy people don't work, you're a hater. Just going to say that to you. You are a hater because they earned the right to be able to have all of the luxuries that they have. I'm sure she considers herself a hard worker. But what you're trying to do is act as if he didn't earn what he has because he received a certain amount of money at some point. And do you think that if you receive a certain amount of money, then that automatically equates to success? That's not the case. Look at almost every young athlete that walks into millions. Some of them are dead broke very quickly because they don't know what to do with the money. They don't know how to handle that level of success. They don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the connections. They don't have the resources. Do you understand? She don't get that. She's like, well, finally, at least he'll have a hairnet on in prison and he will do some real work and he'll do some real labor. Real? What's real? Come on, y'all got to get over that stuff, man.
I'd like to see what you do at like a Home Depot, you know? Or just like do a landscaping job from one of the many immigrants that you want to deport from this country. Anything. That would be more of a punishment than actually sitting in a jail cell. But what he was really saying is,
if a man ever told a woman that she needs to do a real job, that would be a problem. Letting you know that right now. If a man ever said to a woman that she's not working, that whatever she's doing is not real work, you need to go work at Home Depot, that would be a problem. If one of these men on this panel said to Francesca that you don't have a real job, you need to go daggone pick up a wrench and a screwdriver and a hammer and get to work, and then finally you can have you deserve a seat at this table with us real men who have earned our right to be here. If somebody said that to her, she would feel some type of way about that. But they not crying, whiny men. They're not going to do that. But we already know what it would be if it was one man on here and it was 4 women, and that one man said, y'all don't do no real work. Y'all don't even know how to daggone operate a wrench or operate a drill or operate. Come on now. You don't know what to do with no ladder. You can't even pick up a ladder. Until you can pick up a ladder, you ain't doing no real work. That's just stupid, man, in my opinion. Like, the sexism is something, but this is all she has right now. So they're just giving her a pass. Nobody's going to call her out of her mess. They're going to allow her to finish with her dissertation, her little speech, because they like, look, you got destroyed this entire conversation. We're going to go ahead and let you have this one.
Hey, American people, basically stand up for me. In effect, do another January 6th for me. And we all saw what happened, no matter what you think of that day, which I'll remind you, so many Republicans distanced themselves from what happened that day. But the other thing that happened is all these folks who loved Trump, who followed him, who believed in him, were arrested and then charged, rightfully so, for trespassing, for rioting, for threatening the lives of Congress people. And Trump has faced absolutely no music over that. And of course, if Judge Eileen Cannon gets her way, he might never actually face the music until after the election.
He's been charged with very serious crimes in relation to that. That won't happen before the election. Instead, the Democrats collectively, through political reasons and legal reasons and so on, came up with the mad idea of going first with the Stormy case. And that has been a total disaster because no one takes it seriously. Michael Knowles, final point to you. Trump said, my revenge will be success. These are bad people. And he said, it's going to be success will be the best revenge. Do you think that's how this plays out?
It's the only way that it can play out because, as I think most of us on the panel have accepted, there is not going to be some fair legal conclusion to all of this. The only way that this plays out is if the political system in America is not wholly corrupt. It's only substantially corrupt. Biden smirks when he jokes about jailing his political opponents, but it's not wholly corrupt, and the American people can bring enough civil pressure to bear to push this guy back into the Oval Office. That is going to be the only way that this ends.
If he doesn't win the election, Michael will absolutely respect the results of
Well, you know what he'll say,
win,
Francesca?
correct?
And this time with good reason. He'll say, hey, for 2 months of the election year, when I should have been campaigning, I was being put through a criminal court trial over having sex with a porn star 20 years ago. And you know what? A lot more people will have empathy with him this time than when he falsely claimed he had the 2020 election stolen from him without any evidence. So unfortunately,
Absolutely. I mean, who
unfortunately
among us
again,
hasn't...
the Democrat machine to shut Trump down has played right into his hands. But anyway, we've got to leave it there. Brilliant debate. Thank you all so much. Kevin O'Leary, Mark Garagos, Francesca Fiontini, and Michael Knowles. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't think honestly, I think she did a good job. I mean, she did a good job with the information that she has, with the position that she's taken. But at the end of the day, she could have done a lot better. They could have had someone in her position who would have been able to take up for themselves and for the president of the United States currently far better. But she served her purpose. She served her purpose. I'm not going to, for her to be the only woman there, I say that she stood up. She fought toe-to-toe with 4 guys, and because none of them agreed with her at all. And I'm a fair guy. I have 2 daughters, a wife, you know what I mean? And I like to make sure that I point out the fact that her just being there, not losing her cool, not losing her sugar honey iced tea, and still being able to, go toe-to-toe with them. I think that's absolutely dope because most of us wouldn't be able to do that. Let's just keep it a buck. Most of us won't be able to do that. So I do want to point out the fact that she did a damn good job just for being there. But as far as presenting facts, as far as presenting points that support her narrative or supports her position, nah, Slim. You fell short on that part. You most certainly fell short on that part. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about that in the comments, man. I am about to read these bad boys and see exactly what y'all been saying because y'all are so dope.